And check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey guys, what is going on? Covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Lee Sanders with you guys for an all-new edition of the RCWR show this Monday night of October 27th, 2025. Minutes removed from WWE RAW. Got a poll up over on Twitter right now at the RCWR show asking how y'all thought about WWE RAW. Feel free to sound off on there when you guys get a minute if you got the Twitter. If you don't have the Twitter, definitely make sure you stick around. We'll take a look at those polling results later on. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, and wherever you are right now in the United States, if you and your respected family have been impacted by what is going on with this latest round known as the government shutdown, I am definitely thinking about you, and I hope that for you and yours, we're able to get through this as quickly as possible. I honestly, no lies, I cannot believe that we are already on day 27 of this shutdown. And I was telling a couple of friends and family members earlier today, because they know I've been taking my fair share of government classes this semester and everything. They were picking my brain, asking me how long do I think this may play out, if I think it's going to surpass the 35-day period that happened during this president and his administration's first rodeo, if I think it's going to match it or surpass it. And I said, honestly, I think it's going to surpass it. I think it's going to creep up on 50 days, if not hit day 50. And they were like, don't wish that. I said, no, I'm not wishing that. I'm just being realistic. So I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope that sometime in the next 2 weeks, this can be over. But I know a lot of families are definitely being impacted by this, especially as far as SNAP benefits and all that goes. Hey, look here. We'll definitely try to do our best to take your minds off of that for the next little bit. So come on in, stay a while. I'll definitely do my best to put a nice little smile on your face. Pick a good night to tune in. We're going to be talking about fallout from tonight's WWE Raw. I'll also rewind it back and sound off on what I thought of this weekend's NXT Halloween Havok event. It was their PLE streaming on the Mighty Peacock. Also got some tricklets of wrestling related news that we can get into. Been a relatively quiet week, which is always good. When there's not that much going on, means we can do shorter shows and all that good jazz. So let's go ahead and let's dive on in, man. So look, main event match for tonight's WWE Raw. We saw making a rare appearance to the red brand, the beautiful and the lovely Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending their women's tag titles against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Pretty solid main event match. The champions retaining, but man, did they do it in such good fashion. You know, the team of Lyra and Bayley, it is really, really growing on me. It's so funny because if you would have rewinded this back about 3 months ago, I know myself and many of my brothers and sisters and colleagues in the podcasting world specifically, while we're frowning on Lyra and just again, we didn't have an issue with her in-ring ability, and that's something. If you've been checking me out at least long enough, I have always been consistent. The in-ring ability, no issue whatsoever, but the character development, there's really nothing there that's to be desired. And it just seems that by being paired up with Bailey, Bailey has really been helping Lyra flush out more of that personality. And there's no denying it now that there is chemistry that is there. And I love the fact that it's been a slow cooker of chemistry that's been happening between them and everything. Now, did I think for 1 second that the tag titles were in jeopardy here tonight? No, there was never any doubt in my mind because, look, stranger things have happened, right? As we'll talk about a little bit later on in regards to NXT Halloween Havok, right? Again, stranger things have happened, and stranger things did happen when we're talking about that event. But this team of Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, it really, I feel, can go places and it should go places. I'm just to be a fly on the wall and try to understand the creative process, where the writers are seeing this going, or if it's still kind of one of those things where they're trying to figure it out week by week what's going on here with what's going on with with these girls. I wouldn't be surprised if that was maybe the latter. They're trying to just figure it out week after week and everything. But no, all four women, solid ass main event. I just get chills sometimes in a good way when I have to jerk my head back a little bit and I got to look a little cross-eyed, with my head tilted because in 2025 it's just so weird for me still to see Charlotte Flair coming out and she's being warmly well received by the fans. I'm really, really loving this, and I just hope that eventually we know it's going to happen, which is Charlotte and Alexa, they're going to split up. But I just hope that when eventually that does happen, even though Charlotte Flair does the heel thing so damn good, I'm really hoping that they flip the script and that if they're gonna go with a turn internally, that it's not Charlotte that turns on Alexa. It's actually Alexa that turns on Charlotte. I just feel that so many people would just see that coming a mile away that it honestly would make much more sense for them to go with Alexa, or just even better yet, you could always go in a direction where after they lose the tag titles and they try to go on that path to regain the titles back, and things just don't play out, you could always just have them go their separate ways. Who says that you need to have one turn on the other? They could always just go their separate ways and try to chase after their own respected dreams. Both of them in their own respected right have been women's champions. So why not? Okay, this tag thing was good for what it was worth, but now I want to get refocused. I want to get back to basics, and I want to focus on some singles gold. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then that way, if their paths happen to cross again, and the writers are able to do a good of enough job where, the next time these two women don't come head to head with one another isn't until, maybe a Royal Rumble or, something of high magnitude where we the viewers, we could be like, oh man, like we haven't seen these two in the same ring at the same time since we last saw them in a tag match 8 months ago, 15 months ago, or whatever the weird number is and everything. But solid tag match there by all the women involved. Post match, Asuka, Kairi Sane jumping on everybody, but more specifically the women's tag champions. They let it be known earlier in the night when they came across Charlotte and Alexa, that they should have been the ones, or at least Kari was not doing the talking here. Let's really make that perfectly clear. It was all on Oscar that was doing the talking. They're saying that they deserved a shot at the women's tag titles, not Bailey, not Lyra. It should be them. And obviously, they were pretty bitter about it post match tonight, beating the crap out of the champions and everything. You can't help but wonder how that's going to be shaping things up going forward. Is the women's tag champions okay? They did this to us. All right. They think they can get a cheap attack in on us and not pay for it. Okay, they want a shot at the titles. Do they maybe get a shot at the titles? And then if they do, the Kabuki Warriors, if they do get a shot at the titles, will they be successful, or will a monkey wrench be thrown into the mix in the form of Bailey and Lyra? You know, something else you kind of have to have going on in the back of your mind there. I know also we had got from over the weekend a lot of these videos that were running around that WWE was teasing, even Triple H getting in on the action at one point, where we're seeing somebody's feet, not bare feet, but some shoes. At one point it looked like somebody's wearing a pair of jeans, some nice, comfy loafers, and then another time we see somebody with some dress pants and some really nice dress shoes. And it was like, I think I've lost track by now. I think they're now on video number 6 for a teaser, and it had so many people going who. And I know at one point people were going Chris Jericho. Oh my God, it's got to be Chris Jericho. Well, first of all, hate to burst that bubble, but and Tony Khan has definitely commented on this. So as far as, okay, where is this information coming from? Take it straight from the source. Tony Khan has recently talked about Chris Jericho, and letting it be no secret that Chris Jericho, yeah, his contract does end by the end of the year, right? So December, so not that much more time to go, and that he would love to do everything in his power to continue to have Chris Jericho be part of AEW and everything, and appreciates his contributions to AEW, recognizes that AEW would not be in a position that it's in without Chris Jericho's contributions. But the main thing we need to focus in on is the fact that Jericho is under contract. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, guys. Hang on. My camera, which is a new camera, as you guys know, it just got activated because I did a certain hand motion. So hang on a second here. Let's just, and that should maybe, hang on, let's try that again. And no, that's not doing it. Maybe if I go like this, and that's kind of not doing it. So tracking is on right now. Let me see. Maybe if I go like this, yeah. And then maybe if I just go like this, I kind of got it's weird, stupid ass hand gestures, man. Okay. So I'm going to have to do a really good job being kind of static here because I don't know how to turn this damn thing off. It's weird because one minute I'm just doing my thing, and then this irritating ass light just comes on. It's really, really weird. Anyway, sorry about that. What were we talking about there? Oh, Jericho. So it's not Jericho. It's not Jericho. If you have not seen the latest video that is running around, the very last video that they put out shows somebody. I'll tell you the last two. One video shows a hand pouring some liquor into 4 glasses. So you're looking at that, you're going, okay, so we've got 4 glasses, so we're talking about 4 people. Okay. But then the very last video, you see somebody's hands that are behind a chair. And you want to home in on the left hand of this individual because it appears that this individual on their left hand, they have a WWE Hall of Fame ring. And if you know your hands, the body structures, and all that, it's definitely a dead giveaway that the person with the Hall of Fame ring and everything, that Hall of Fame ring, it is Paul Heyman. The hands and everything. It clear as day, no doubt about it, that that's Paul Heyman. And so it has a lot of people kind of speculating, okay, so what are we really trying to tell here? What's the real story? Is this about maybe WWE's way of letting us know who the fourth man is, or rather the new? See, it depends on how you want to look at it. You could say fourth man, or you could say third man. Depends on how you want to look at it, right? Because if you say who's the third man to join Bronson's, right? Braun and Braun, then okay, then you're going the Brock Lesnar route. But then you got to remember that the video before, which I just described, showed somebody pouring into four glasses, right? Some tequila, whatever it was, four glasses. So who's the fourth man? Other people are under the impression, if it's not Brock Lesnar, some are just under the impression, maybe this has to do with WrestleMania. A whole lot of fun little thoughts going on in there from you guys. I just saw that the camera had moved again. I don't know what's going on with that. It's really, really annoying. I'm going to try to see. You know what? Let me try to see if I can, real quick here. Yeah, for whatever respected reason, the hand gestures I'm doing, it's not changing it back to the color that it needs to be. I'm trying to turn it back green, but that doesn't seem to be doing the trick. Yeah, I'll try to keep on it throughout the show for you guys, but it's just going to be one of those nights. You guys are just going to have to bear with it and everything. Anyway, CM Punk, Jey Uso locking it up to kick off tonight's show. Nice little verbal confrontation between these two guys, as this was the final time that these men faced off, trading bars before their match as Saturday night's main event going down this weekend for that World Heavyweight Championship. Solid stuff. You know what was kind of funny about that is I actually was making some dinner, and long story short, I didn't get in front of the TV for about 15 minutes. I get in front of the TV, I turn on Monday Night Raw, and I see Jay and CM Punk in the ring, and I guess Punk is doing the gesture, hey, you want for his music to play again? And I'm going, wait a minute, how much did I exactly miss? And I rewinded it back, and I find out I didn't miss a goddamn thing. So that was kind of funny for what that was worth. But no, CM Punk, Jey Uso trading bars. CM Punk telling Jay straight up, hey, I know you got that dog in you. I saw what you had did last week when it came to winning that battle royale. You even threw your own brother out of the ring. So make no mistake about it. I know what you're capable of, and that's good and everything. And Punk basically, is saying to Jay, yeah, but are you really going to be able to rise to the occasion, or are you going to come short once again? That kind of was his whole deal to Jey Uso. This was mostly CM Punk carrying this segment, as Jay, was just standing by, and as I like to say, having the whole sour patch face going on. He really did not say anything that was substantial. By the way, shout out to where Raw was out tonight. It was out there in Anaheim, California. A lot of fond memories from my time living in California so many years ago. By the way, nice little zinger that Punk did there. 4 letters, one word. Love how he also said to Jay he was gonna be all up in his grill on Saturday night and everything. It's nice little innuendos there. CM Punk was saying and everything. Also, want to mention the fact that Punk said to Jim Uso, or sorry, Jey Uso, that he's not asking Big Jim's brother or Little Roman. He's asking main event Jey Uso, how far is he willing to go? But he also lets it be known that he needs that World Heavyweight Championship just as much as Jay does. You know, he did not like how things obviously went down for himself at SummerSlam, and he is trying to get that World Heavyweight Championship again like a fish needs air. So, you know, despite the fact that these two are friends, friendship be damned, Punk is going to do what he needs to do by any means necessary to get back that championship. So, yeah, that pretty much was it. You know, Jey Uso, when he did get a chance to talk, pretty much telling Punk to bring it. So, say less. Onwards to Saturday night's main event. But really good segment between those two for what it was worth. Real drama going on, though, was backstage where Jey Uso crossed paths with his brother Jimmy. And Jimmy was pretty peed off about some of the things that Jay had said, or somewhat was talked about in that segment we just went over with CM Punk. Matter of fact, let me jump right into my notes on that one because I was jotting some of that down. It actually was pretty damn good. I was going, ooh, and all that other good stuff. So at one point, Jimmy says to Jay, you know, he confronts him. He goes, you know, how dare you after everything that had went down, you know, last week with that battle royale, you know, you threw me, you know, out of the ropes, over the ropes and everything. I don't give a damn, you know, if LA Knight and me were tossing it up. Like the rule was we all were going to team up and we were going to do our thing, eliminate everybody. And then when it was down to you and me, then it was all about best man, you know, doing it and everything. And so, yeah, I mean, you get it. Jimmy felt, you know, a little bit betrayed and all that other stuff and kind of rubbed him the wrong way, you know, but kind of goes back to see, it's kind of interesting what's going on with Jimmy here because Jimmy's almost talking out of both sides of his mouth because on the one hand, Jimmy did say to Jay last week going into that battle royale, yo, like every man is for himself. And you best believe if I got to toss you over that rope, then so be it. May the best man win. So, and to Jay's credit, in this same segment tonight, Jay did bring up the fact that, yo, right? Like, I don't understand where the hurt feelings is coming in and everything. And so ultimately, Jay says to him, look, I think you're really just mad because I beat you to the punch. Like, let's be real. So they was able to squash that little whatever was going on right there. That was kind of, but I love what Jay has said to Jimmy. He said something along the lines of, look, man, my plate is rather full right now with the vision with Seth Rollins and now CM Punk. I don't know if I can really take on that much more, man. And it was almost kind of Jay's way of saying, seriously, like, respect your lane right now because the last thing I need is it to be getting into it with you, right? And so it kind of seems like, at least for now, for this week, the brothers are on the same page. We'll see how much longer that's going to last. Some more in-ring action that went down tonight. We had ourselves a nice little shindig. I actually had enjoyed this match a lot. It was a men's intercontinental championship number one contender, Penta taking on Rusev. Damn good matchup. These guys clicked pretty well together. I think we're going to be seeing more of them down the line and everything. This match did not have a decisive victor, though, as we had saw a disqualification come about. This was pretty much as a result of Rayo and Bravo Those damn Americanos, Grand Americanos, the trio, they pretty much interfered in this one. And it came at the request of Dominic Mysterio because Dominic Mysterio was not interested in seeing either Penta or Rusev as a number one contender for his Intercontinental Championship. Well, we would later find out by Adam Pearce as a result of Dom's actions. It is going to be a triple threat match that's going to be going down with Penta and Rusev as Dominic will defend against them on Saturday night's main event. Now, that's some real sweet icing on the cake, but the only thing that's missing from that whole equation is Rayo, Bravo, and El Grande Americano, aka the Americanos. Are they banned from ringside? We didn't hear Adam Pearce even mention that. So it's kind of one of those deals where you're going, kind of sucks. Kind of sucks that we're going to be probably looking at another screw job. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it all plays out. Meanwhile, LA Knight was in-ring action against Braun Breaker. Good one. It was a good one right here. Braun Breaker winning this one about 10 minutes and some change. Always fun watching Braun Breaker. I mean, seriously, this guy, like week in and week out, I cannot sing enough praises of Braun. The guy is just getting so damn good before our very eyes, week in and week out. And I tell you what, man, I mean, he has really, it sucks what's going on with Seth Rollins, and definitely, as far as Seth Rollins, speedy recovery definitely goes to him. But, yo, Braun Breaker and even Bronson Reed, these guys just continue to be on a roll, like seriously. And I tell you what, nothing is more captivating, mesmerizing, and I won't say inspiring, but you can't help but feel like, you know what, WWE's in a really good place in regards to their men's division when you're looking at guys like Bronson, and you look at Braun Breaker, and then you look at LA Knight. I mean, there's definitely no mistake about it that LA Knight will, without a doubt, be a world heavyweight champion, right? And so it's really, really cool seeing LA Knight and Braun Breaker just go back and forth at it right here on this one. It's actually a pretty classic matchup. I personally felt pretty good for what it was worth. Also, Nikki Bella and Roxanne Perez, they locked it up, although rather brief. Raquel Rodriguez being a little bit of ace factor, a little bit of a factor in this one. Roxanne Perez picking up the W here. So far, I know we got a couple of more months to go, but if I'm looking at our Lee Sanders Awards, our wrestling awards for next year, I'm telling you, man, as far as the women's dark horse of the year, Roxanne Perez is definitely leading the way right now. She really, really is leading the way. I mean, every single time she has stepped in that ring, she has put in a classic match. And I mean, look, Nikki Bella, nobody really knows Nikki Bella for her wrestling. Well, let's really be honest here, okay? Okay, let's keep it real. Okay. But man, anytime that you give me a match involving Nikki Bella and Nikki Bella actually comes out of it looking pretty good, to that I say, well, who was the person that she was dancing with? And Roxanne Perez this week, it was her opportunity, and Roxanne really, really delivered the goods in this one. Post match, Roxanne, Raquel on beating up on Nikki. Stephanie Vakir coming in there for the rescue. This pretty much sets up an interesting tag match for next week, as Stephanie Vakir and Nikki Bella will be taking on those same two women. So something you get to look forward to next week. Also next week as well, we're going to see a World Tag Titles match as JD McDonough and Finn Balor will get to take on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for the tag titles. So, fun little matchup there. See what else. Besides that, Adam Pearce had a brief conversation with Maxine Dupree, letting her know that she has just been on such a really good roll and everything these past couple of weeks, particularly her matches against Becky Lynch, that Adam Pearce wanted to reward her by giving her a shot at the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maxine Dupree is very honored, very humbled at the opportunity, but says at this time she's not quite ready to do that just yet. She wants to first talk to somebody. I don't know who this person is. I don't know if it's Chad Gable or what. Likely not. Yeah, all things considered, the history and all that. But there's somebody she wants to talk to, but that she doesn't want to squander the opportunity, as she lets Pierce know that when she is ready to pull the trigger, without a doubt, she's going to be sending some shockwaves and defeating Becky Lynch and becoming the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. To which Adam Pearce lets her know, well, whenever you're ready, just know that match is there for you. Just let me know when you want to do it. So, kind of nice to have that little nugget of information. Wonder how much time is going to go past before. Oh yeah, like how soon before Maxine Dupree cashes in on that opportunity? Is she going to cash in maybe come Royal Rumble time, or is she maybe going to cash that in come WrestleMania time? Really, really makes you wonder. Ooh, then again, they probably won't do it at WrestleMania, right? Because you got the Women's Royal Rumble winner as well. So you got to make sure you put all of that spotlight on. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that she will definitely cash in before the Royal Rumble. Like, how soon do I see this being cashed in? What's the earliest? What's the latest I could see this opportunity being cashed in? I wouldn't be surprised if it gets cashed in sometime in early to mid December. And then definitely right before the Royal Rumble. I could see it playing down that way. Let's see. We talked about the women's tag match. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else we need to. Wow, we are. Oh, honorable mention, by the way. Damn good matchup between JD McDonough and Sheamus. That definitely, if there was any match I would really single out, and I would say to you guys, yo, go out of your way. You gotta watch this one match. This was really, really good. JD McDonough, man, that dude, that guy for me, remember what we were talking about earlier as far as Dark Horse of the Year, Roxanne Perez? Well, my Dark Horse of the Year so far, JD McDonough. I mean, he has really, really increased his cachet. You got to put some respect on this guy's name. I mean, week in, week out, this dude is just doing the damn thing. I'm really loving it. Damn good, solid matchup there with Sheamus. I, honestly, and I'm not gonna pull any punches. I thought this was gonna be a squash match. I really did. I'm like, okay, this is against Sheamus. Yeah, this should be like 3 minutes tops. And the fact that this went about 12, 13 minutes long, it's quite taken back. I don't know if that was like a Sheamus call or what, but you show me somebody that can hang with Sheamus that long and be very consistent throughout a bout with Sheamus, and they're holding their own and everything. And I say to you, yo, this is somebody I can definitely work with week in, week out. I'm definitely going to keep giving this person opportunities after opportunities. And Sheamus was definitely that individual. So always good to see Sheamus, but even more so good to see uh, JD in an opportunity here where he really got a chance to shine and prove, yo, you put me in a position where you got me, fucking around with the OGs. That's how you turn it off. Now we know how to turn it off. Let's see if that works. That should work. I just saw something about, hey, this is how you get it to turn off. And it doesn't look like it's turning off. So let's try this. I love just trying to figure this shit out off the fly while we're live on the air. You guys have no idea. I feel like I'm doing the Spock live long and prosper, only I'm not doing the V trigger thing. That's the only thing that's kind of missing from this. I don't know why that damn light is on. So I'm still messing around with this webcam. It's the OBS bot. And when you get a green light, that's good. But I got a purple light right now, which is letting me know that tracking is on right now. Please be careful not to cover your face with your hands and keep your fingers open for the gesture control. Not to cover your face, right? Okay, so let's try this then. Let's try this then. Let's try this. That almost did it. It flashed green for a hot second here. Let's try it again. Try it one more time here. It went green again. I don't get that. We'll try it one more time. That's weird. So the green light is coming on, but it's going right back to purple. Like I really don't get that. Yeah, it's really really weird. Live long and prosper. Seriously, live long and prosper. Okay, now we got it. We got green again. Okay. Took me long enough. All right, so now you guys are good. I told you I was going to figure that out for you guys. That was WWE Raw in a nutshell, though. So you guys were probably enjoying me and the hand gestures a lot more than the Raw recap there. I don't know. Okay, show, especially as far as setting up this Saturday night's main event on Peacock. Don't be looking for it on NBC now. It's going to be on Peacock. It'll be coming on at 7 p.m. Eastern. Will I be live with you guys for a special Saturday night's main event post show? Yes, I definitely will be there with you guys. And the way Saturday night's main event is looking right now, you kind of know at least a couple of the matches, but just to make sure you guys know the skinny. Again, Dominic Mysterio defends in a triple threat match his Intercontinental Championship against Rusev and Penta. Meanwhile, Tiffany Stratton defends the Women's Championship against Jade Cargill. Cody Rhodes defends the undisputed WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. And then we got that singles match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship between CM Punk and Jey Uso. So, and again, it's going to be this Saturday, November 1st, Salt Lake City, Utah at the Delta Center. So, I think as it gets later in the week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, I'll come on and do some predictions, call that match style. So make sure you're staying connected to the YouTube channel for that exclusive. Meantime, let's see how you guys had voted over on Twitter at the RCWR show. Let's see what you guys are saying here. All right, so right now I'm showing a tie at 20%. Half of you felt that tonight's Raw was an A show, while the other half of you said it was a C-rated show. I'm seeing 26% of you said it was a D to F show. And coming in top dog right now, 33% of you said it was a B show. Appreciate you guys that had cast your vote. Always love hearing from you guys. All right, so to that, some other things that we can talk about. We were kind of alluding to Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton, I did watch SmackDown from this past week, and I loved seeing Jade Cargill just lay out beautifully Tiffany Stratton. I was just clapping my hands and going, "You go, girl." I loved it. I hate that shit up. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Honestly, good. Good. And I love the fact that before anybody could say, "Oh, Jade Cargill is turning," I love that on that very same episode, like a segment or two later, she's caught up to backstage, and Jay basically says, "Yo, I tried to do this the nice way. And I see that going in, just laying down the foundation, trying to do the hard work and being a good soldier. Nah, that's not doing it. It's all about power. So you know what? I'm gonna take what I feel is rightfully mine." I love that nice little mean streak, that nice little demeanor, and all of that. So that's good. I think it's inevitable though that Jay Cargill is going to become the women's champion. Now, whether or not it's going to happen at Saturday night's main event, I mean, we just went over the card. I refuse to believe that. And you would think that with every single match that we just went over, okay, like new champions, right? Well, not so fast. There could definitely be some shenanigans going on in there that's going to make you go, "Hmm." Like the Bronsons could interfere in the main event match between Punk and Jay. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it very well could happen. And then something else to consider as well, again, the other matches, we may see something in similar fashion happen, right? I really hope it doesn't become a night of fuckery. Being totally honest with you, I hope it doesn't come to that. And I don't think it will. Otherwise, WWE, they will be lit up on social media. But again, stranger things have happened. It's the truth. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing with Jay Cargill. It's just a matter of when, not if at this point. I got to be honest, I would really, really be surprised if Jade does not walk out of Saturday night's main event as the new women's champion. I really, really would be surprised because the only way then it's kind of justified is if, okay, well, if you're not going to have her win it here, then does that mean that she wins it maybe come Survivor Series? That's the only way it kind of makes sense for me. And I really don't think it's going to be a Survivor Series case. I really, really feel as though Jade's like, and can we be honest too, in regards to Tiffany Stratton? Like, it's just, she's regressed big time. I mean, we've seen it more and more and more. And at this point, it's time to just get that title off of her and just keep her off TV for a little bit. Let her go down to the performance center and work out some kinks or whatnot. But, we need a new drug right now. Fans need a new drug. I mean, I don't think fans are sick of Tiffany Stratton just yet, but before it can get to that point, need to go back into the oven and see what other things can be worked out and everything. But if you're a Jay Cargill fan, this is definitely a really good sign that, okay, hey, the powers that be in WWE, all right, they really are feeling where Jade is. She seems to be in a really good place. And the work's been relatively consistent. It's been slow as far as her progress and getting better, but it is there and everything. It is there without a doubt. By the way, let's talk a little bit about the Aleister Black Zelina Vega controversy that's going on. Hang on here, quick second, guys. My allergies are really kicking my butt. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, you know, by now, I think everybody has seen the Karrion Kross video that's online. We talked about it at great length on this weekend's Wrestling with the Topics, which, if you're not aware, and I appreciate you all's patience, by the way, I ended up putting out the audio version of that show from the weekend and last Monday's show. I made sure both of those were uploaded earlier today. So, wherever you get your podcast, it's now available. I appreciate you all's patience. I'll try to do my best not to have it be so long, because that definitely, normally at the latest, I like getting the audio versions of the show up usually a day or a maximum 2 days later. So that definitely was not to my liking, but you know how it is. Life uh, bites you in the ass, and you're trying to catch up with things and all that. But the Karrion Kross, latest entry that's up on YouTube, just the fact that it kind of coincided with what we've been seeing of Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. I know it has a lot of people going, yo, not for nothing, but Karrion Kross and Zelina, Karrion Kross and Scarlett, like they did it better, what the hell and everything. And look, fans are allowed to feel how they want to feel. You can't tell them differently. And I know that Aleister Black has his fans. I get that. So too does Zelina Vega. But if you're truly a wrestling fan and you truly appreciate all things wrestling, without a doubt, you can't help, when you really take a step back, you really can't help but go, yeah, you know what? The optics. Yes. Gotta admit, the optics of this does not look right. It's kind of what I had talked about over the weekend. What exactly is Alistair and Zelina supposed to do? They've got their marching orders. What? They're going to go, oh, no, we can't do that. That wouldn't be fair to. No, they're gonna do what's necessary. It's still early, obviously, and we need to see exactly how this differs from what we've seen with the Scarlet and Cross presentation, right? We definitely need to see how this plays out, but out the gate, you know, first impressions, which is, it's okay. We're allowed to feel those first impressions. Comes off kind of poor, doesn't it? It comes off kind of fucked up. And again, we're allowed to feel that. Now, if Zelina Vega and Aleister Black, now here's where I will push back a little bit. Zelina Vega and particularly Aleister Black. Whoa, are you serious? I can't believe I'm just now getting this email. Wow, breaking news. So apparently at my campus, at my university campus, there was an incident that occurred near the library. And apparently, a man was reported to police that he was inside a restroom on the seventh floor when a quick, bright light caught his attention from underneath the stall next to him. The student saw a phone case before the suspect's hand disappeared. Holy shit. The student went to the stall next to him and saw the suspect before he left the restroom. The student reported the suspect was wearing a red flannel shirt and jeans with glasses and seemed older than college age. A witness canvasses was conducted by officers. Okay. Incident is being investigated. Oh, that is it just ain't safe no more, man. Seriously, shit just ain't safe no more. I was checking out. I'm a big fan of Joey Swole. Love checking out Joey Swole, and I find him to be a little bit inspirational, motivational, and all that. But I also find his videos. There's also that part of me that goes, yeah, I'm not interested in working out publicly at a gym because the last thing you should have to worry about publicly at a gym is if somebody is recording you without your consent. And a lot of the videos that I see Joey sharing, these weird motherfuckers, man, they are in the locker room, they're flexing and hitting all these poses, and you got people that are behind these individuals that's posing, and these people in the background, they're butterball ass naked. And these people that are flexing in front of the cameras, they just don't give a damn. And it's like, dude, like, regardless if you're fit or not, how would you feel if somebody had took footage of you without your consent and your goodies is all out there for the entire world to see? Again, whether you're fit or not, just your private parts are all out there because this knucklehead did not do the most common decent thing: blur out your entire body, blur out your entire face, blur out the entire freaking background on top of that so they could really make it be all about them. There is a way that you can do that. And that's the thing that I don't understand about a lot of these. It seems like these individuals are just trying to chase more after being some type of a social influencer. They care more about that than the people that they are inadvertently hurting in the process. You feel me? It just nauseating. Yeah, I told my girl a long time ago. I said, honey, cancel that little gym subscription of yours because you ain't getting me in no public gym. Like, it's just too many weirdos. And then if I'm not seeing that type of stuff that Joey Swole usually posts and talks about, I'm usually hearing an incident like what I just read you, where like some weirdo is doing some shit in the bathroom. Just disgusting, man. Just disgusting and disturbing there, man. I think we were done talking about the Karrion Kross, Aleister Black thing. I don't really think I have too much more to add to that. Let's talk a little bit about NXT Halloween Havok. This should probably make longtime listener Mohammed happy because Mohammed had popped up over the weekend and he was like, "Hey, what did you think about Halloween Havoc?" And I had said to him and the rest of the listeners, well, sadly, I haven't watched it yet, but I'll probably likely be watching it the next day. And I watched it earlier today. I watched it in two sittings. So I made it through the first two matches and then I took a breather, caught up on some errands, and then I picked up the rest of the card afterwards. Look, I gotta tell you, I have seen better NXT events. For 2025, this was not the best event. This definitely was. If I had to make a list of top three worst NXT events, I would put Halloween Havoc on that list. I don't know if it would be the number one list, but I don't know if it would be at number one on the list, but I know it's definitely in the top three. That much I know for sure. Could I maybe stretch that to five? I think it just really depends. But yeah. Now, let me explain to you guys, as far as like where I was coming from with this, why I kind of felt the way that I did with this one. Honestly, it really had to do with, because I'm looking at the card right now. Give me a second here. There we go. So Javon Evans and Leon Slater defeating Mr. Iguana and La Parca. I honestly could have done without that match. I love Javon Evans though. I'm a big fan of his. I also like Leon Slater, but I'm a huge fan of Javon Evans. So, anytime I get to see Javon Evans, that always puts a smile on my face. Out of the six matches, though, Ethan Page defeating Dr. Wagner for the NXT North American Championship. That match alone was worth the admission. That was a damn good match. Definitely the best match on the card for the entire night, for sure. Blake Monroe defeating Zarya for the NXT Women's North American Championship. I didn't particularly care for the match. Got to be honest with you. I didn't particularly care for the match, but I am happy that Blake Monroe is the new NXT Women's North American Champion. I am happy for that. I know they're still figuring things out with Blake Monroe and all that. So, there's still kind of that honeymoon period and everything. So that's cool. Isn't it interesting, by the way, that we basically got like three cats running around, former AEW cats that's running around with championship gold. I'm just saying. Tatum Paxley defeating JC Jane to become your new NXT Women's Champion. That is so multi-layered, man. It really, really is, because I know a lot of people weren't feeling JC Jane as champion. A lot of people felt that she just really was not offering anything personality wise. For some people, it was like, yeah, that's great. We got this whole Fatal Influence stable that's coming out. They're shaking their little ass and everything. But beyond that, what else is there? And pretty much a whole lot of nothing was how a lot of people felt about this and everything. But it was tolerated because there was hope that, well, maybe a Lola Vice or maybe a Sol Ruka or maybe a Lash Legend or maybe a Jordan Grace will eventually dethrone JC Jane. So there was always that hope as far as, why fans generally should stomach this for what it's worth. But the fact that it went totally in a different direction, I trust me, I did not have Tatum Paxley on my bingo card for NXT Women's Champion in 2025. I don't think a lot of people had that in their bingo card. So, and it just seemed like each PLE, just month in and month out, it just seemed as though, JC Jane, she ain't going nowhere. You better learn to love it, right? She's like the next best thing since whatever. Um, Tatum Paxley really came from out of nowhere, did she not? And she definitely fits into that whole underdog, comeback from behind, not a chance in hell. It's a nice little story that a lot of people can get behind. And this is also, it also can be looked upon as a nice reset for the women's division on NXT. It's another way that you can look at that as well. And then the intertwinings there with what's the name of that group? The calling, whatever the hell their name is, the cooling, the calling. Um, yeah. I mean, so you got all those interesting dynamics that's going on there, and then the friction. There is friction there between Izzy Dame and Tatum. So you got a whole lot of interesting dynamics that's going on in there. It'll be interesting to see how WWE shapes this around Tatum being the new women's champion and all that. Meanwhile, Dark State, decent match, by the way, decent match with the girls. Meanwhile, Dark State defeating the Hardys in a Broken Rules match to become the NXT Tag Champions. I don't care for Dark State whatsoever. Seriously, I do not care for her. What's kind of heartbreaking about this, by the way. Nothing against the Hardys. I mean, they pretty much were dialing up the hits, couple of little spots here and there. But what was really kind of heartbreaking about this was the fact that there was no mention whatsoever of the Hardys and their now infamous match against the Dudleys at Bound for Glory, especially considering the fact that the match that they had against the Dudleys, it was the Dudleys' last match as they officially retired. And it just would have been on commentary a really good thing to sell. I get that WWE wants to be in its own little, hey, this is a WWE presentation. This is about our respected universe. Yeah, but you're playing with other characters that are from another company. You're incorporating other characters from another promotion. So it makes all the sense in the world. If you can verbally mention a spot where Dark State did something to the Hardys and you're like, yo, who does that remind you of? Which is exactly what had happened at one point during the match. I think it was Vic Joseph that said the line. And you're kind of giving a nod there to the Dudleys. Then you should definitely, in that same breath, be able to say, I wonder if this match was really a smart move for the Hardys to have accepted, because it hasn't even been that long since they did their match with the Dudleys. Are these guys truly at 100% here? We never really will know. The Hardys aren't ones to moan and groan, bitch and complain about. They always step up to whatever challenge, anytime, any place. But you can't help but have that, right? Another thing, I'm surprised that with the way this match was laid out too, it was a broken rules match, right? So basically, like, all four members of Dark State were active at the same time. I did not like the way this match was structured to pretty much set that up, because when I hear that, wait a minute, it's four guys against two guys, the one thing that I didn't understand, for the love of me, and this is how I knew this match wasn't going to be that good. I kept saying out loud, please don't let this match start where Dark State is trying to figure out who's going to go, which two members are going to go, or the Hardys going, hey, which of you two are we going to face first? I kept saying out loud, please don't let it come to that. Instead, just let the entire Dark State guys, before the bell even rings, just beat the holy living shit out of Matt and Jeff Hardy. And the running gag can be with Vic Joseph and them, yo, the match has not even started yet. And these guys don't give a damn. They are just attacking the Hardys like rabid Wolverines. That's how this should have played out when you hear that it's a broken rules match. And you hear that it's four guys taking on two guys. But we didn't even get that. So that was my tale of the tape right there, that this match wasn't going to be all it was cracked up to be. And that definitely was the case. Went way too long, too, for my personal taste as well. Main event match between Ricky Saints and Trick Williams. Ricky Saints retaining the NXT Championship. Solid matchup between Saints and Williams. I'm ready to see Williams move on up to the main roster already, man. Can we make it happen? Can we get it cooking already, man? I'm ready to see the big dog come on over. I know the big dog is Roman Reigns, but you guys know what I'm saying. You guys know the real what I'm saying on that one. Meanwhile, something interesting that was announced during NXT Halloween Havok, and that is a 2-week event that'll be playing out on the CW, NXT Gold Rush. No, this is not a new reality series where you come on down to a pawn shop and you hope that on top of meeting some interesting characters, you'll also be able to sell some goods and get some nice good money. No, 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 no. So apparently, this Gold Rush event is going to be incorporating TNA, Evolve, and NXT, where basically all the championships apparently are going to be on the line and all that. This is kind of similar, if you remember, to the inaugural event that happened in 2023. Remember that event was themed around championships as well. But remember, back then that mainly was just focused all on NXT. But this go round, it's going to be incorporating other promotions this go round. So looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. Oh, let's not also forget that AAA is going to be involved in this Gold Rush as well. So it'll be taking place Madison Square Garden, New York City on November 18th. And again, it's going to air as a two-part special on NXT, with the first installment airing on November 18th, and then the second installment airing a week later on November 25th. So make sure you set your DVR. Speaking of DVRs, kind of weird what's been going on if you are a YouTube TV customer, because I don't know if you all are experiencing this. Sound off and let me know. So over the weekend, I was trying to watch an episode of AEW Collision, and for some weird reason, on my TV, YouTube TV, on my Samsung TV, very weird. YouTube TV was trying to force me to pay for an HBO Max subscription. Now, I have HBO Max, but I have it through Prime Video. So whenever I want to watch HBO Max, I just turn on Prime Video, go to my subscriptions over there, boom, I'm good. But yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that YouTube TV was doing this. It was like the first time ever. And I have TNT, I have TBS and all that. So this was really, really weird. It acted as though no episodes of Collision were recorded, which I just thought was really, really weird. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. I went on my iPhone the next day and I saw that all the episodes of Collision that I've yet to watch, but most importantly, the most recent one that dropped over the weekend, it was available for me to watch like normal. So I'm going, oh, okay, cool. So I played a couple of minutes of the weekend's episode, and then I decided, I'll watch the rest on the TV in a little bit. So a couple of hours go past. Now I'm in front of my TV. I turn on YouTube TV. I'm looking for AEW Collision, the same episode, not giving it to me. I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? So the only reason why I was actually able to watch this weekend's Collision ultimately on the TV was because I began watching the said episode on my phone. So I'm just curious if a lot of you guys are having the same issue, if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, or maybe you're not a YouTube subscriber, but you're kind of having the same similar issue. Sound off and let me know, because I'm most curious. Weird glitch. I got to tell you that's going on. But for my YouTube TV subscribers, a lot of drama going on right now, man, because in case you haven't seen it, there is trouble in paradise as far as negotiations between ESPN, basically Disney, and YouTube. YouTube TV, they pretty much, you know this by now, it's the blame game. They're pointing at Disney and saying Disney is being greedy, and Disney's going, yo, not the case at all. So basically, when it's all said and done, I believe if they don't strike a deal by, it's either October 30th, 11:59 p.m., or October 31st, 11:59 p.m., then you guys could be losing a lot of channels, not just ESPN, but there could be also impacted some local ABC affiliate stations as well. Now, keep in mind that within recent weeks, YouTube TV, they had ongoing negotiations. Kind of seemed like it was doom and gloom there with NBC Universal, but they were able to work something out. And then I think it was right after that, they were rumbling with Fox, and ultimately they were able to work out some type of deal. So I don't know. We'll see if they're going to be able to go 3 for 3. YouTube, I'm talking about. We'll see if they'll be able to go 3 for 3. But I know a lot of people are looking at that now. Not for nothing, YouTube has said that in the event that a deal is not reached with Disney, that they will be giving users a $20 credit. Now, what I don't know is if that $20 credit is a one-time deal, or if that $20 credit will remain intact until like things get resolved, whether that's like 2 months from now or 3 months from now. Like, your guess is as good as mine. But look, when you've got Disney and they got that great bundle that's going on with Hulu Live TV, and then you can get your ESPN, and you can get all that for just one great low price. That would be enough to make one, even if it's a case where you can get that special deal. I think right now you can get it for $64 for the first 3 months. So you're saving a little bit of money right there by jumping the ship. But like, there are things that Hulu Live TV has that you're going, well, YouTube TV, yo, it's far superior. And I tested them all. If you guys remember earlier this year, I ended up testing Sling TV. I tested out Hulu Live. Who else did I test? It's like a couple other cats that I had tested. And I remember being here on the show and I told you guys, look, as far as like smooth interface, navigation, DVR storage, and just overall biggest bang for the buck, it's still YouTube TV. Despite all the bullshit that's going on, it's still them. We got the AEW women's tag title brackets that's been revealed. Check this out. Yes, AEW, they've introduced another set of tag titles or titles. I can just hear you guys right now. Another one, a little too soon, too fast, right? But it is what it is. But check this out. This is the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament. We've got Queen Amanada and Jamie Hayter as a team. They'll be taking on the Sisters of Sin, Sky Blue, and Julie Hart. Meanwhile, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, they'll team up to face Mercedes Monet and Athena. Then over on the other side, we've got Windsor and Rio. They'll be taking on Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. And then we've got Penelope Ford and Mega Bane teaming up to take on Tay J, Anna J, and Tay Mello. Honestly, my winners for this one, I'm going to go with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. I think they're going to be your winners when it's all said and done. I'm having a hard time picturing anybody else. Shout out to David Otunga, who released a very solid, short to the point, about a under 7 minute video looking at the whole Andrade situation with WWE and the whole contract limbo that Andrade is in, which is stopping him from appearing in AEW. I would highly recommend you guys go out of your way and check it out. David Otunga, who is a legit lawyer, he studied law and everything, Harvard. dude knows his shit. He broke it down very, very well, and I think the arguments that he made, I don't think WWE wants that kind of smoke. I really, really don't. So I think it's just a matter of sooner rather than later that Andrade will be appearing in AEW. That is, if he still wants to appear in AEW. That is, if he wants to appear in AEW. Also, shout out to Vince Russo. So Vince Russo is he's now been revealed as a principal investor in the Insane Clown Posse's wrestling promotion. Some people were under the impression that maybe Vince Russo was going to be doing something with the NWA promotion, which that wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, I saw a couple of people, particularly Dave Meltzer, kind of shooting that down, saying, that's irrelevant, that's nothing. But who watches NWA? Nobody's watching NWA. Well, not for nothing, Dave Meltzer, but the same argument could have been made for, well, who's really watching New Japan Pro Wrestling except for the hardcore? You can make the same argument that, well, who's watching the NWA? Well, the hardcore wrestling fan is watching the NWA. And, look, obviously, I just found Dave Meltzer's words when he just disregarded NWA like that. I just couldn't help but say that's real messed up, because if you claim to be a wrestling fan and you love all forms of wrestling, you support all things wrestling, NWA is definitely something that, especially if you see they're doing some things right, you definitely want to be using your respective platforms to, you know, spread the word, spread the good word about it and everything. So just kind of shaking my head at that. Shout out to Jonathan Coachman. He actually had took to social media to pretty much bash the reporting that Dave Meltzer was doing, and saying, "Look, I spoke to Vince Russo himself. I asked him, and he told me that nah, he wasn't doing anything for the NWA, but at the same time, he wanted for Vince Russo, when the timing and all that was right, for the news to come out on where Vince was landing and all that. But yeah, it's the independent wrestling promotion, JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Russo ended up surprising the crowd at a most recent taping of JCW's flagship show, Lunacy. So yeah, he's back, and he apparently has already helped write, like I guess, like the next 9 episodes or whatever. So you think back to 2018 when he was a script consultant for the Aero Lucha promotion. And then let's not also forget, in more recent years, a lot of people seem to be sleeping on this. And I know it maybe wasn't really, a case where, oh, well, this ain't really mainstream. So why should I care about this? Why should I be reporting this and whatnot? But I remember the Rev Pro wrestling promotion. Vince Russo was coming down there on a regular basis, and he was offering, advice and all of that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at one point, he was either in some type of a unofficial role, or he was like a producer, one of the writers. He definitely was doing something with them a couple of years ago. It didn't last that long though. If I were to speculate, this is really pushing my memory too. I think Vince worked with Rev Pro for maybe about 6, 7 months, and then that pretty much was it. So, you know, hey, I wish the guy luck. I hope that he kills it. You know, they say that with time comes wisdom and all of that good stuff. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Also, I want to give a shout out to one Chris Bay. If you guys have not seen the emotional posts that Chris Bay had put out on his Instagram, go check it out. Chris Bay had reflected on that devastating injury, serious neck injury that had happened 1 year ago, and he reflected on it. It's very eye opening. I don't want to take anything from, because I don't want to take his stuff out of context. I did read it in its entirety, and I don't want to read it. I think it's one of those things where you really owe it to yourself to go out of your way and read what the man had to say and everything. But to just know, it was scary. I remember that in real time, just kind of rewinding it back. That was a very dark and scary situation there. And look, Chris Bay, truth be told, he could not be with us right now. This could have been a situation kind of similar to what happened with La Parca. Could have been a very serious situation. But, knock on wood, you know, thank God, it didn't turn out to be that type of situation. Also, shout out to WWE Hall of Famer and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons is going to be going into another Hall of Fame. This go round, he is going to be entering the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame. So that is a very nice, cool, distinct honor. Yeah, this was announced by the 1976 Warner Robins Screaming Demons team, which Simmons was part of. So he'll be inducted as part of that year's ceremonies there. So it's pretty badass, pretty badass. Looking for, he accumulated, by the way, for you stat buffs out there. He accumulated 130 tackles that season. That's what's up. 130 tackles. That's what's up. That's what's up. And also, I don't know if you guys have been looking into this yet, but for those of you that maybe are going to be traveling next month, particularly to the North Carolina area, November 28th through the 30th, WrestleCade 2025 is looking super, super stacked. I want to let you guys know how the guest list is looking so far and give you guys my personal recommendations and all that. Pass. Yeah, hey, I heard about this, so I definitely want to hook you guys up and everything with my personal rankings and thoughts and all that. So let's jump into it. WrestleCade 2025 guest list. Here we go. So again, this is for WrestleCade, and you can find the same information and learn more about ticket prices and all of that. Go to WrestleCade.com. The icon Sting will be there. Looks like he's only going to be there one day. Looks like Saturday he'll be there. I cannot stress it enough. If you have never met the icon Sting, do it. Do it. I met him. Tammy will tell you the same thing. A very nice man, very pleasant. We met him at AwesomeCon a handful of years ago. He even did a Q&A, and that was really, really cool. He was awesome. He was really, really awesome. Sting was just taking his time, talking to each fan. It was kind of one of those deals where the people that were moving the lines along, I guess they kind of were made aware that, Sting likes to actually talk to his fans. So you kind of don't rush Sting. Don't rush the fans. So it was kind of one of those. All right, so we'll give it about maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll move the lines along and all of that. But total pro. I mean, so laid back. I can't say anything more. Money well spent. So if you're able to see Sting at WrestleCade, do it. If you're trying to figure out who to see, definitely put him high above your list. Jushin Thunder Liger looks like he's being provided by Big Event New York. He'll be there Friday and Saturday. Heard a lot of good things about Jushin Thunder Liger. Yeah, definitely. If you can do it, do it. Okada Saturday. Heard good things about him. Do it. Trish Stratus, she'll be there one day, just Saturday. I've heard nothing but good things. Definitely. That's another one. If you're able to do it, do it. The Hardys, they'll be there Saturday. Yeah, that's another one. I've heard nothing but good things. Do it. Pitbull, Gary Wolf, be there Friday and Saturday. Wish I could tell you. Haven't heard anything. Haven't heard anything. Hollywood, Jeannie Bazone. You got me on that one. AJ Francis, formerly known as Top Dollar, he's going to be there all 3 days. Abdullah the Butcher, that's pending, I think. That is pending, I think. I know, and speedy recovery to him. There is something that is going on with Abdullah the Butcher right now. Matter of fact, let me see. I totally had blanked out on that, but I remember reading something going into the weekend, and I was like, oh, yeah, a few days ago, Abdullah the Butcher was hospitalized, according to a report. Shout out to the good folks over at NBC New York. They mentioned that he's been battling serious health issues and is currently in the hospital. Let's see what else. Right now, he needs all of us. Let's come together as fans, friends, and family of this business to send our prayers, positive thoughts, and strength his way. This, according to a statement made on Facebook back on October 23rd. So, not really sure how severe. Apparently, this is all according to his booking agent, Steve Stasiak. So I really don't know. I'm not trying to say anything bad or jump the gun. It's just 84 years of age, health complications. It's kind of one of those. Like you really, if there's anybody on this list where you're going, I'm a little concerned about. Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher is definitely one where you're kind of going, not really sure about that one. Alicia Atut, she'll be there on Saturday. Whatever that means. MJF is going to be floating around there as well. Amazing Maria, aka Big Rig Betty, she'll be there on Friday and Saturday. She's been doing her thing down in the Wow Women of Wrestling promotion. Enjoying seeing her in action. Angelina Love will be there all 3 days. Arn Anderson will be there on Saturday. Baby Doll will be there as well, same day. Beer City Bruiser. Oh, man, they got the Beer City Bruiser. Cool. Friday and Saturday. Big Trouble, Ben Bishop, Friday and Saturday. Bill Alfonso, heard good things. Brad Attitude, Friday and Saturday. Brandy Lauren, my guilty pleasure. My guilty pleasure. I would have been taking up a OnlyFans subscription for some Brandy Lauren content, but I don't need to get in trouble with the wifey. But yeah, Brandy Lauren. Yes, good stuff. Brandy, speaking of, wow, two Brandies. So we got Brandy Lauren and then we got Brandy Wine Friday and Saturday. Brian Myers Saturday. Brock Anderson, Arn Anderson's son, be there on Saturday. Buff Bagwell will be there all 3 days. Bushwhacker Luke will be there for Friday and Saturday. Butterbean Friday and Saturday. Carlito all 3 days. Celeste Bonin, Caitlin, she'll be there on Saturday. Cheryl Roberts, I wonder if that's the Jake the Snake Roberts' wife. Yeah, yeah. I did remember it right. Yep. Because apparently Jake Roberts is going to be there too. And for what they're doing, this is interesting. So you got Cheryl Roberts, who's going to be there from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. However, also that same day, she's also going to be doing special photo opportunities where basically you'll take a picture with her and Jake Roberts. So that's interesting. Christopher Daniels will be there as well Saturday. Clara Carter all 3 days. Oh wow, their prices are available. This is the first wrestler that I've seen on the splash page where their prices are made available. $10, $10, $20. So $10 for a photo op, $10 for an autograph, I guess, and $20 for the combo. Curry Man will be there as well. Danhausen, cool. Don Marie. Oh my God. Have you guys seen how Don Marie is looking now? Oh my God. That body is banging. Nice and thick. Just how I like it. She'll be there Saturday, it looks like. Demolition. Love me some Demolition. Audrey Allen, Saturday. Sean Christopher. Lodi. Khalib with a K. Khalid. Yeah, he's a second person. He'll be there Friday, 20, 20, and 30. Paul White, big show. He'll be there on Saturday. Brought to you by Big Event, New York. Brittany Brooks, Friday and Saturday. The Honky Tonk Man. He's cool. He's cocky. He's bad. He'll be there on Saturday. Story Daniele. Cool. TVMA. That's Tiffany Nevins and Samantha Starr. Saturday. Mike Mundo, cool, all 3 days. Killer Kross, Scarlet. Shout out to my Killer Kross and Scarlet fans. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pure Temptation, Saturday. The man formerly known as Sin Cara, Friday and Saturday. Ravina Vane, Saturday. Scotty Brooks, Saturday. Henry Godwin, Saturday. Suicide, from the TNA game, Friday. Bojack, Saturday. Chris Bay, we were just talking about him, Friday and Saturday. Perry Saturn, Friday and Saturday. Kerry and Ricky Morton, Saturday. Luke Hawks, my man, Luke Hawks, Friday and Saturday. Ricky Knight Jr., Friday and Saturday. Carolina Cruz, formerly known as Emma Diaz, Saturday. Jamie Hayter, shout out to my AEW fans, Saturday. Deanna Purrazzo, Saturday. Devon Dudley, Saturday. Earl Hebner, Saturday. Allison Danger, Friday and Saturday. Austin Farley, referee, Saturday. Emily Jane, Friday and Saturday. Evil Nate, Saturday. Fodder, also known as Psycho Boy, Friday, Saturday. Fred Ottman, Saturday. Francine, I love me some Francine, man. She's a cutie. Friday and Saturday. Gen Z, Saturday. George South, Mr. WrestleCade, Friday, Saturday. Goldilocks, Friday, Saturday. Harley Cameron, Saturday. Hollywood Haley J, Friday, Saturday. Heath Slater, Friday, Saturday. For my Indy Hartwell fans, Friday, Saturday. Isla Dawn, Saturday. Jake the Snake Roberts, Saturday. So you see how this is going, how they're doing it. Jake Roberts and crew. You see how they're doing this. James Ellsworth, Friday, Saturday. Jared Fritz. There will be opportunities to see Jeff Hardy one-on-one as well. Jerry the King Lawler, that should be very interesting. I know he's recently had some health issues. Jillian Hall, Jim Ross. Now will be Saturday for those guys. Also, there's going to be a Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler special photo opportunity. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Mouth of the Heart, Jimmy South, Jimmy Valiant, Joey Janela, John Schuyler, Johnny Shore, Casey Catanzaro, Carissa Rivera, formerly known as Electra Lopez. Oh, nice. She'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Kenzie Page, Kevin Gill, Kevin Nash. Shout out to my Kevin Nash fans. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Coco Beware, Kylie Page, Lacey Lane. Lacey Lane and Casey Catanzaro are doing a special photo opportunity. Layla L, Leigh Vandale, Carmella. Inspiration will be there. Lex Luger. Heard good things about Lex Luger, by the way. Linda Dallas, Lindsay Snow. I just mentioned MJF. He'll be there as well. Maddie Max, Magnum TA. Mara Shade. Why does she look familiar? Mark Kapani, Muhammad Hassan, Matt Cardona, Matt Hardy, Matt Riddle, Mike Bailey, Mikey Whipwreck, Mina Shirakawa. Ooh, Missy Hyatt. Oh, man, I love me some Missy Hyatt. Natalia Markova. Ooh, nice. Mr. Hughes. Hey, never go wrong with Mr. Hughes. Nick Dinsmore, Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. Nixon Noel, formerly known as Tegan Knox. Nikita Koloff. Penelope Ford. Priscilla Kelly. Psycho Love. Reese. Rob Van Dam. Sandman. Santino Morella. Hey, shout out to my Page fans. Saraya, she's going to be there as well. Looks like Saturday. Savannah Evans. Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. The franchise. Shane Douglas. That's actually a damn good one. I've heard fantastic things about Shane Douglas. If you really want to pick his brain and really get him talking, just ask him key things about the business, especially if you're maybe somebody that's trying to break into the business and you're trying to get like the right information and all that. He's one that will take the time and he'll legit answer your question. He's one of those rare guys that I've heard. He's not talking through you. Like the guy is actually very engaging. He's having a conversation with you. So definitely keep that in mind. Sergeant Slaughter is going to be there as well. Oh, apparently Shane Douglas and Francine are doing a photo opportunity on Friday and Saturday. Shotzi Blackheart will be there as well. Sick Boy, Sidney Akeem, formerly known as Reggie and Scripps. Sonny Ono, Steve Carino, Hornswoggle, TT the Island Girl. Oh, Team Bestie. Apparently there's going to be a Trish and Lita photo opportunity. There you got Team Blondage. Everybody's favorite girl, Tessa Blanchard, will be there as well. Dawson Brothers, Raven. I'm so disappointed I didn't go to Jimmy's Seafood out in Baltimore. I didn't know what time the damn thing was going to be going down. Not to mention I had classes, but I really would have loved to have seen him at Jimmy's Seafood last week. The Glamour Girls, Godfather, Good Brothers, The Niece, The Other Guys, The Rowdy Club, Till Piper, and Demos, Shockmaster, Silver Fox, Thunder Rosa, Tito Santana, Tugboat, Tully and Tessa Blanchard. You get a photo opportunity with them. Or if you just want to do something with Tully himself, he'll be available. Typhoon, Veta Scott, Vampiro, Vladimir Koloff, Willow Nightingale, Zaya Brookside, cool. LeBron Kazone, Zilla Fatu. Is that the one that just got released? Is that somebody else I'm thinking? AKA China Syndrome, Sarah Page. Waylon Mercy, cool. Cora Jade, she's going to be there. Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy. Papa Shango. Luis Cortez. Thekela. Johnny Baker. Cam Jackson. Allie and Rosemary, cool. Scotty Riggs. Valerie Verman. Gene Ligon. Thunderbolt 2. Perry James. Sean Cruz. Morgan Dash. 10-10-20, cool. Ava Brooks. 10-10-20. Drew Hood, 10-10-20. Hey, Kylie Ray. Yeah, Kylie Ray. I don't know what was going on. There was some weird rumor that was floating around that Kylie Ray wasn't gonna be there, but she was like, "No, all I'm doing is having a kid. No, I should be there." So she's gonna be there. Cool. Chris Statlander, Arika Damia, Tony the Cheer Captain. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. If I didn't have classes, I would so go for this woman. Oh my God. I have such you guys have no idea. I have such the biggest crush on this woman. This has to be the only woman where I would go, do you want to go grab a beer? Or, or coffee. Like, she's the only one I would be willing to actually say that to, and nobody else. Jessie Bell, aka freaking oh my God, make wrestling great again. Jesus, what's the name she's calling herself on Wow Women of Wrestling? I've been so like out of the loop on that show for so long. And the funny part, I think she knows I have a crush on her, which makes it which even makes it more awkward. Cause like she doesn't she doesn't mess with me, but she knows Jesse Jones. That's who it is. Jesse Jones. Yeah. Wow. 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 Okay. Anybody that's going and plans on seeing Jessie Bell, get at me on social media or hit me up with an email, because I might have to send you some money because I need an autograph. That is, of all the autographs that has been elusive for me all these years, it is hard as a mofo to get her autograph. I think I even tried looking on eBay and it was, yeah. Damn, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to see what's going on with that. Can I click on? No, I can't click on anything. Okay. And then you hit me with another one of my personal favorites, April Hunter. Nice. Abuse of Power, BOK Mike, CW Anderson with Brittany Marie. Cool. Gustavo, Logan Quindle, LDJ, Ron Simmons. I've heard nothing but good things about Ron Simmons. Take advantage. I know one of the last times I actually was supposed to see him at the Squared Circle Collectible store out in Winchester, Virginia. Something weird happened though, and for some reason I wasn't able to go. I can't remember what it was. Wifey might be able to better jog the memory, but I couldn't tell you what happened. Jasmine Allure, she's been tearing it up on the independents. Izzy Moreno, cool. the Dante Calafia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sean Legacy, Jaquan McNair, Christine Reed, Ava Zukov and her Russians, Rick Steiner, and Serena Vale. That is who we all got so far for this guest list. So some pretty cool names that's in there, honestly. And looks really good. Again, it's going to be happening November 28th through the 30th out there in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see what's going on. I gots to have me. I gots to have me Jesse Bell. The autograph, of course, the photograph and all that. I gots to have some of that. Let's see. Anything else we can get into before we get ready to wrap it up? I know it's getting a little late. I definitely need to be taking my sleep aid pretty soon. Hey, before we get ready to dip, I definitely want to take this time out and give a shout out to our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. First off, I want to give a shout out to my good friends over at justmovieposters.com. It's that time of the year, man. If you're looking for a really cool, scary, Halloweenish themed poster, justmovieposters.com has your hookup. Whatever you're thinking of, it could be Friday the 13th. You could be thinking of I Know What You Did Last Summer, or Halloween, the franchise, like whatever you're thinking of, Chucky, Child's Play, whatever you're thinking of, justmovieposters.com. They got you hooked up. $5 to $7 starting price for posters. Shipping, you got to pay for, but very affordable, fast shipping. So check them out. We're also brought to you in part by our good friends over at TerraPaulPremium.com. Wake up your senses with bold flavor and smooth vibes. Terra Paul Premium brings you top-tier coffee and teas crafted for people who love quality, energy, and most importantly, good taste. For rich blends to chill herbal sips, that's what they got. And they got it for you on that daily basis. Your daily fuel is covered by Terra Paul Premium. We're also brought to you in part by I Want to Learn SQL.com. Check those guys out. Your next pivot in tech begins with a solid query, talking about building reports that make learning SQL practical, approachable, and actually fun. Check them out. And last but not least, we're brought to you in part by our good friends over at the IME iRadio station, streaming 24/7. Your global soundtrack featuring the hottest indie artists. Nice throwbacks mixed with today's top 40 hits. Think of it as a world tour, but for your ears, delivering crowd favorites and hidden gems from all across the U.S., Europe, Canada. Tune in, vibe out, discover your next favorite track. Check out the IME iRadio station. Shout out to new listeners, new subscribers, and longtime supporters. Big shout out to our Patreon backers as well, and everybody that checks out the show for on-demand and downloads on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, iHeartRadio, and beyond. Was checking out the numbers for the audio show the other day, and you guys are just... I love that, too. I was telling the wifey about it. I said, yo, I didn't even put out the damn shows on time, and we like tripled our numbers. She goes, and what did you learn? Well, stop pussyfooting around when it comes to uploading the show. She said, exactly. So I promise you guys, for our on-demand and downloaders, I will definitely make sure that no matter how tired I might feel, come Tuesday night, I will make sure that I sit down and upload the show and everything. If you want to treat me to a cup of coffee, or just say, hey, Lee, appreciate you, man, you can donate. Check out the links in the episode description. Your next edition of the RCWR show. So I will be doing a midweek preview and predictions for Saturday night's main event this Saturday, November 1st. And then I will be back live Saturday, November 1st, as soon as WWE Saturday night's main event is off the air. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a fun show. Be Kind Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR show. Get at me on social media using the same handle, the RCWR show. Show the YouTube channel some love if you haven't already. We've been just having a lot of fun over there, man. I'm putting up all kinds of funny videos, especially the foodie reviews. We got a new one that's out right now where I'm reviewing the new Fanta Chucky's Punch. Boy, I had an interesting time reviewing that one. You'll see why. Go check it out. That's all I gotta say. Go and check that out. That is gonna do it. Until next go round. Wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Take care, y'all. Peace.